So Feron, you get to go back home. That's the good thing. Back in New Orleans, what's that gonna feel like for you?
It's gonna feel good. It's been a while since I've been back, so I'm just ready and excited to play in front of my family, seeing my family back home.
Just getting the chance to think about the Saturday win, not come and gone. What's the locker room atmosphere like, the mentality like right now?
Just trying to keep that same energy we had Saturday for every game. We don't have any more time for slip-ups, so just not losing any more games the rest of this conference and trying to win out and win the league. That's our main focus right now.
Considering the way you held off Houston and they got you earlier in the season, how gratifying was that? Where does that win rank for you in terms of personal satisfaction wins?
I think that was a great win for us as a team, and that's a great team. Coach Calvin Sampson does a really good job with his players and that whole staff over there, so credit them. But I just think that we were more ready to play Saturday, and that that was a good win for us.
Do you worry about when you have a game like that where it's close, it's a rival, and then it goes to overtime like that? Do you worry about sort of a letdown or a hangover in the next game? And how do you and your teammates guard against that?
No, I just think we take every game one at a time and try and approach every game the same way. I don't think any team gets a different treatment. So I should say, we were more pumped to play them than maybe some other teams that we played this year. But I think we took the next step of maturity and having to take every team with the seriousness that we took them with.
You were pumped to play Houston, but Tulane's probably going to be pumped to play SMU. Is that something that you guys have thought about?
Yeah, that's for sure. Just making sure that we come out with the same energy that we had Saturday night, because every team, every game is important. Every game, can help you get into the NCAA tournament or help you get out of the NCAA tournament, and that's just one of the main goals we're focusing on right now.
You mentioned that. Is that the NCAA tournament? Is that a discussion piece in the locker room within the players? I know Coach James tries to keep it a little low profile, but is that something that you guys talk about a lot in the locker room?
Yeah, I think that's one of the main goals. Going to the NCAA tournament, because I haven't been yet. I don't think some of the players on my team haven't been. So I think right now we're just trying to win the conference. Try and win the conference tournament, and hopefully we can make it to the NCAA tournament this year.
In the second half, you guys went to kind of a small ball lineup with you and Isaiah Mike out there for most of the half, if not all of it. Do you feel like that's kind of the best option for this team right now, or how do you feel about playing in that lineup yourself?
I don't think that's the best option. I just think that option with that game particularly, we had to go small. But I like playing whenever I'm in. It doesn't matter if we have Isaiah Jersey in or Ethan in at the 5 or Isaiah Mike at the 5 or I'm at the 5. I think it just depends on the matchups and who we're playing and the way they're guarding us.
Is it hard for you to embrace that role when they use you at the 5, since you've played so much on the perimeter, both high school and college?
No, I actually like playing the 5 more, because the guy who's guarding me is much slower than I am, so I can go around him pretty faster than usually somebody who else is a guard on the perimeter.
What does it feel like when you guys have that big win on Saturday?
I felt great, but on to the next game now. That only the last flip, just that night. Now we got to focus on Tulane, who's a good team, and they beat Cincinnati this year, so they're capable of beating anybody on any given night.
What's that family environment for you personally going to be like on Wednesday? Being a New Orleans guy.
I think it should be a pretty good crowd. Like last year, I had a lot of people, a lot of family there, maybe 30. So I'm trying to bump it up this year. I got some more people coming.
Are they Tulane fans or are they?
No, they're SMU fans. They're SMU fans.
There have been a couple games this year where Coach Jankovic has talked about the team's ability to hang on to a lead. A couple of them have gotten away. You had a double-digit lead in the second half the other day against Houston, and you held off their runs to pull out the win. Does that tell you anything about this team? Is that a maturing step? What did that mean to you to be able to hold them off when they were coming back like that?
I just think it shows that we're resilient and that we're never going to quit given any circumstances. And I think Saturday night, that was a great team, and for us to maintain and keep the lead on that team was a big confidence booster for us as a whole.
Tyson talked about being in practice, and Coach mentioned SMU, Soft Methodist University. Kind of, I guess, just tongue-in-cheek more or less, but it seemed like Tyson really took that to heart. You guys had a pretty tough week last week, and you showed your toughness. Let me get your opinion on that. I know you kind of take it in stride. You probably heard worse from Chris Dyer, things of that nature, but just what are your thoughts when you hear stuff like that?
I think Coach James just trying to motivate us with those things like that. I know he doesn't mean that in the university is soft or anything like that. I think it was just kind of a motivating factor for us. And you know, looking in on the outside, we lost to them like 2 years in a row. So I just think we wanted to change that culture. And it's a new culture around us this year. So I think that was pretty big for us. And I mean, I don't mind it. I think him saying that kind of adds more fuel to our fire as a team.
The first time you played Tulane, after the game, Coach Jankovic talked about how they have sort of an unusual defensive style, and it took you guys a minute to read it and make your adjustments. What do they do that's unusual that you guys have to adjust to?
They play kind of like a matchup zone. I don't really know how to explain it because I'm not in practice, but I mean, it's kind of awkward. They don't play like man-to-man defense, so it's just kind of a little different than usual teams.